I'm Sharu Jose from Bangalore, India. I come from Kerala, the south of India. When babies cry, the mother knows exactly why the baby is crying. I was very timid, fearful, I lacked confidence. And there have been miraculous interventions. I have a very powerful experience in my life. I truly believe she knows my need, even more than I know what my need is. And that is why she is my mother. I'm married to Jose Anthony, and we are blessed with 5 children. We run restaurants in South India, across Chennai and Bangalore. Our business is, we are in the hospitality industry for the last 22 years. So while in the larger extended family, whenever we met at the ancestral home in Kerala, we used to have our family prayer. In our nuclear family, we didn't have much of a family prayer concept. We were traveling from Bangalore, Chennai, back to Kerala, and that was when we would focus a lot on family prayer because grandmom used to get all of us together. And she played a very important role in my life. I don't think even my grandmother knew that because she was someone who went for daily mass. And I have this beautiful memory of her walking to church every day. And she always carried the rosary with her. I don't think she knew that she was inspiring me. And I think my devotion to Mother Mary really started from my grandmother, my paternal grandmother. As time went by, I grew up to become a very mischievous child. I was very naughty in school, and then my parents decided to send me for a retreat. And that's how, when I went for a retreat, I happened to go for a counseling. And one of the first things that he asked me was, "You don't pray the rosary." And I was shocked. I was a little girl, maybe in my 7th grade. I was wondering, how did he get to know that I don't pray the rosary? So I said, "Yeah, I don't pray the rosary." Then he said, "Do you know that Mother Mary loves you immensely?" I said, "I don't know about that." Immediately after that, he said, "From today onwards, you're going to pray your 3 rosaries." And at that time, we had only 3 mysteries. From that day onwards, I do not know, as he spoke, maybe grace accompanied what he spoke. From that day onwards, I have prayed the rosary, not in a religious way, but there is just so much of love that I experience every time that I pray the rosary. And so I don't feel like it is a boring or a monotonous prayer, but it is truly an expression of love for me. I used to always pray, "Mother Mary, I want to be led to my spouse, just as you and Saint Joseph were led to each other." So I used to pray the rosary every day. And exactly on June 25th, on a ground that was consecrated to Mother Mary, I met Jose on his 25th birthday, and I truly believe that this was Mother Mary's intervention in my life. I'm Mariam, and my husband is also Joseph, and I truly believe that Mother Mary and Saint Joseph, just as they were led to each other, I, Mariam, was led to my Joseph so beautifully through the intervention of Mother Mary.
Mary, I give you my heart. Mary, I give you my heart. Mary, I give you my heart. Set it on fire with love for Jesus, 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 with love for Jesus.
So something that I used to pray to Mother Mary, to give me someone who loves Jesus, your son, more than he loves me. And so beautifully, at the same time, my husband also had made the same prayer wherever he was. He used to pray, give me a girl who loves Jesus more than she loves me. And I truly believe that through the intercession of Mother Mary, we were really brought to meet each other. And then we started a family. And out of our love, even my husband has a deep devotion and love for the Blessed Virgin Mary. And together we started a wonderful family. And as an expression of love again, all our 5 children, their names have Maria or a Mario in their names. So the eldest is Anna Maria Jose, the younger one is Maria Zita Jose, Anthony Mario Joseph, George Mario Joseph, and Michael Mario Joseph. I always pray to Mother Mary to make up for the flaws in my life, especially in the way that I have raised my children or in the way that I love my husband. I always ask her to make up for all the flaws in my life, whether it's in my prayers, in my thoughts or words or deeds. And I know for sure that once my children and my family has been consecrated to Jesus through the Blessed Virgin Mary, again it gives me so much of confidence. Where I am not able to be or what I'm not able to do, I know that the Blessed Virgin Mary is going to do for me and for my children. I believe that my children are protected with the blue mantle of the Blessed Virgin Mary. No matter what happens to us, we know that our children also will be safe and that they will be faithful to Jesus because of Mother Mary's intervention and her protection. My family, we're a very close-knit family. And so praying to Mother Mary that I want to have a very deep and loving relationship with my husband's parents, especially the mother. And in this part of the world where really the families play a very important role in the marriages. Even after the marriage, we stay with our parents or our parents stay with us. And that was something that I was really particular about. I wanted to have a very strong bond with my husband's family as well. One thing that I realized is that I cannot say that I love my husband Jose immensely, I love him a lot, without really loving his family. And generally, when we talk about marriage, we're always hearing about, even if it's jokingly, we always hear about all the tiffs that happen between the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law and how there is no peace at home. And these things were things that I've heard, and I've always wanted it to not be a part of my life. And I have prayed that I have a beautiful relationship with my mother-in-law. I don't even like to even call her my mother-in-law because I share such a beautiful bond with her. She's truly like my mother itself. There was something else that I realized in our marriage, that I cannot claim to love Jose if I cannot love his mother. So imagine if I say that I love Jose, but I do not love your mother. Let's keep her at a distance. I don't think that would be right. If I truly love Jose and I honor and love his mother too, I've heard about so many incidents that have happened in different people's lives where Mother Mary has intervened and there have been miraculous interventions. I have something similar, a very powerful experience in my life. I was very timid, fearful, I lacked confidence when I had just started the business in Bangalore. This is a restaurant business. On weekends, we have exceptionally high footfall at the restaurant. And one Saturday, the accountant had called up. I was at home. The accountant had called up and said, "Ma'am, can you come to the restaurant immediately?" And I heard a very fearful, overwhelmed voice. I could hear that she was very disturbed. And on asking her, she told me that there were many officers from the sales tax department who had come there, and in front of the customers, they were pulling out drawers, they were asking for files and creating a little bit of a scene in front of everybody. And that was something that was causing a lot of disturbance for the service as well as for the customers. For one, I was very, very scared. I didn't know why they had come. I had just started the business. Although in my mind I was thinking, I've not done anything wrong, so I don't have to be really scared about anything. Even then, I was worried because I didn't know the language well enough, and I wasn't really sure what they were going to say or what the accusations were if they had already created such a big scene at the restaurant. I come here, and while I'm coming, I kept telling Mother Mary, "You be with me." So when she had called, I was so sure that my husband would probably go on my behalf and speak with them because he's the more courageous one. I asked him, "Would you go?" And he said, "You don't worry, I will pray. I will pray and you go." And I felt I did not have the courage at all. But since he said he will pray, I was reassured and I decided, okay, fine, let me go. I remember, I don't think I was really able to pray the rosary, but I held the rosary in my hand. I reached the office. I negotiated with the officers and I said if we could move to the office instead of creating a scene at the restaurant, disturbing the customers. And they willingly came along to the office. And there for 3 hours they grilled me. They wanted the balance sheet, they wanted the bills, they wanted the accounts. The complete accounts was given to them. And then he says, "It's very clear that there is manipulation of your accounts." So he looked at the accounts and he said that it's very clear that you have manipulated your numbers. Your sales are not matching, your expenses are not matching. But in my heart, although I was fearful and very timid, in my heart I was very confident because as a business decision, since we are already in ministry, there were certain very strong decisions that we had taken. There are shortcuts to make a lot of money in business, but we had decided we are not going to get into any of those things. We would not evade tax. We would declare our income as it is, and we were going to be honest in the way that we conduct our business. And so I was very confident that these were false accusations. Now, how do I convince him? I tried with all my human wisdom. I tried showing the accounts, explaining things to him. He just would not budge. In fact, he got his assistant to come in with the letterhead, and in the local language, he made the assistant list down every one of those accusations against us on that letterhead. And then he said he was going down to have lunch and he would come back. And by the time, he said, "You can write a check, sign it, don't put the amount, don't write the name." And then it struck me that this is probably a little bit of drama that was happening so that I could be put under pressure and he could possibly earn some money under the table. While he was having his lunch, I got some time to settle down and to gather my thoughts. And I knew I'm not going to escape from this unless there was divine intervention, although I knew very clearly that I was innocent. I prayed and I knew that Mother Mary was with me. I knew that the Holy Spirit is with me. I knew I was surrounded with angels and saints, and I felt such a lot of strength. I wasn't the same person that I was when I left home. And when he got back, he continued his accusations. I tried with my human wisdom, trying to justify what I had done and to trying to prove my innocence. But it was of no use. I tried explaining to him that, sir, we are Christians, we are Catholics, and bribes are not something that is ethical. All of a sudden, he saw what was in my hand, and the rosary was in my hand, exactly the same rosary. And he asked me, what is this? I said, this is the rosary. And I thought this was such a beautiful opportunity for me to share the faith, to share about Jesus and about Mother Mary. And so in my office, there was a picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And I said, do you know who this is? And I introduced Jesus to him. And I said, the picture by the side is Mother Mary, his mother. And I said, she is my mother too. And I don't have my mother here in Bangalore with me. I told him, whenever I am scared, whenever I'm confused, whenever I feel I'm alone, when I hold this rosary, I feel like I'm holding my mother's hand. And that gives me so much of strength. Imagine I'm sharing all this to a sales tax inspector who has come for a raid. And I said this, and this man who had been grilling me for 3.5, 4 hours, all of a sudden, he said, okay, all right. And he asked the assistant for the letterhead, and he writes out in English that he sees no misappropriation or manipulation in the accounts, and he gives us a clear cheat. So this one incident was, I thought that was one of the most powerful instances of Mother Mary's intervention in my life. And from there on, I always thought that I'm always assisted by not just Mother Mary alone, but by the entire heavens. Because I always think that Mother Mary is never alone. She always, wherever she is, Jesus is with her. And where Jesus is, the Heavenly Father and the Holy Spirit. And where the Holy Trinity is, the whole choirs of angels and saints as well. And so that brings us the entire heavens. And so when we are praying the rosary, we are actually receiving the assistance of the entire heavens. And I don't think it can get better than that.
Gave us his own. Be with us, Mary, along the way. Guide every step we take. Lead us to Jesus, your loving Son. Come with us, Mary, come. When Jesus met with rejection, Mary stood by the cross. How can a mother desert her son? She'll also stand by us. Be with us, Mary, along the way. Guide every step we take. Lead us to Jesus, your loving Son. Come with us, Mary, come. Come with us, Mary, come with us, Mary, come with us, Mary, come.
While taking care of my babies, I noticed that when babies cry, they sometimes cry because they're sleepy, or they're crying because they're hungry, or they're crying because they want to be carried, or they're probably crying because they are thirsty. Sometimes the baby themselves don't know, but the mother knows. The mother knows exactly why the baby is crying. And similarly, when we are praying or in our life, We do not know what is good for us, but I know for sure that Mama Mary knows what is good for us. And she will bring in the right intervention. Sometimes it's for us to obey, sometimes it is for an angelic intervention in our lives. Whatever it is, for some sort of a divine intervention in our lives, all we have to do is just approach Mama Mary, and if we can, pray the rosary in expression of love, and we will see a powerful intervention in our lives, maybe even beyond what we can imagine, because we really don't know ourselves what is the intervention that we need. Similarly, in our lives, we also cry at different times when we go through difficulties. And I truly believe that Mother Mary knows exactly what we need. And she will bring in the right intervention as well through her prayers. Maybe we need providence, maybe we need protection, maybe we need a powerful intervention, a divine intervention. Whatever it is, Mother Mary knows it, and she will pray and bring in the help that we need. I've realized that she knows my need, probably even more than I know what my need is. And that is why she is my mother.
My name is Michael O'Neill. In The Miracle Hunter, we're looking at the miraculous icons of the Virgin Mary from all around the world. A famous one from Croatia, Mother of Bistrica, is one of these black Madonnas that are seen throughout all of Europe. In this case, it was made around 1400, but it was buried for safekeeping in protection from the Turks. But in 1525, a supernatural light shone upon that spot and they rediscovered where it was buried. In 1588, they had to bury it in the walls again, and in 1684, it was discovered another time. In 1930, she was declared the Mother of Croatia and became known as one of the most famous Marian icons in all of Christian history.
Are you searching for purpose of life? Discover your true identity. Stay tuned to Shalom World.